couple days away from the end of the season. How do you reflect on all of it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I feel like we could still kind of be playing. I feel like we were playing well at the end of the year. We were building some steam. Obviously, ran into a good team, but would have been nice to find a way to steal one of those games and play well enough to extend the series. But it is what it is. They were a good team and just couldn't get one.
First year under Carberry, his coaching staff, what did you like about what they brought to this organization?
Yeah, I think from the very start, the way he came in and brought that passion and energy and accountability and just the drive to push this thing in the right direction. And there was a lot of unknowns coming into this season. There's a lot of up and downs right from the very start. Guys that were supposed to be here aren't anymore, and the whole season there was a lot of adversity. And he's the head coach. He kept us pushing in the right direction, kept us on track, and ultimately winning some big games down to the end of the year and getting into the playoffs. So I'm sure he's got a lot of experience out of this year. There's definitely ups and downs, but he did a great job. And I think as players, you're never satisfied with making the playoffs, but it was cool to be able to battle for each other and get this group into the playoffs. And obviously would have liked to do a little bit better, but it was fun playing some big games again.
TJ just told us that he hopes to play next year, but he doesn't know. It depends on how the offseason goes and how his back feels. When you hear, I know you're close to him. When you hear him say stuff like that, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's it was tough. I'm close enough with them to know that it's not going to just be a predictable future for him. It hasn't been. He's been battling and clawing and fighting for every inch, basically fighting for every game at times to get in and just leave it all out there. So that last game, I mean, it's just pretty emotional when you think, there's a slight possibility that you may not be able to battle with your brother and really close friend and teammate. It's pretty emotional. And obviously you don't really know. I hope he can get to a place where he feels like he's good enough to go, but every day with him is an absolute pleasure and privilege, and I've learned so much from him. And it's one of those guys that towards the end of the year I'm like, I'm going to leave it all out there because I don't want to stop playing with you, like you don't want your last game day with Osh to ever happen. So it's one of those things where if he's good to go, I'm going to be the happiest guy on the planet. He's a guy that we love having around. So I'm hoping his health and everything gets back. But I mean, like he said, it's been a tough go for him, and it's a testament to his character and durability, how much he's done for this team, and pretty selfless just to leave your body on the line every minute and of every game just to win games. It's pretty selfless, amazing thing that you don't find very often.
Looking at the season for you, you took on a role of wearing the A. Just how do you feel like you've developed more into a leader this year?
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy season for me, individually for sure. Like there was tons of ups and downs, on and off the ice, and it was a learning experience for me as well. And you got a new head coach, a young head coach, and you got a bunch of young guys coming into the team. You got a guy that you look up to like Backy, who right away is gone. And then, your role expands a little bit, and I really am proud of where our group got to by the end of the year, just the culture and the guys in the room. I think there was an accountability and just an inner drive to look at the guy next to you and just a genuine feeling that you could depend on him and that you wanted to play and battle for him. And I think we might have been outgunned a little bit towards the end of the year, but we've found a way to come together and win big games. and beat really good teams. And that's just shows the quality of the people in the room and guys growing up, guys maturing, changing roles, gaining more experience. All of that is really important. So it's a year I'll always look back as one of probably the craziest of my career. But it was fun to get in the playoffs, fun to play big games, and I'm hoping we can keep moving forward here and do better and better and better.
Kind of going along those lines, how optimistic does that leave you for the future of this franchise?
Yeah, it is. I think you always want to improve every year, and I think there was a ton of unknowns coming into this year. We didn't know what we were going to be. I think we expected to be competing and playing really well, and then you have two guys that have been centermen in this organization for a really long time that are your superstars that don't finish the year here. So that's very tough. You have two holes that need to be filled by young guys coming in that did a really good job and played good hockey for us. So it's exciting to see those guys come in and take steps in their career and, looking to the future, the young guys coming in and doing well. It's the future is bright and makes me excited about the next chapter, because obviously there's a lot of unknown when you're not this year, you're not contending for the Stanley Cup and you go into off seasons. It's encouraging when there's guys that are there that are really ready to compete and ready to take on more role, and be part of my job to just keep moving forward and helping them achieve what their utmost potential.
Sort of going back to Oshie a little bit, he was telling us that it was that hit from Rempe in Game 3 that broke his hand. You went up to him later in that game kind of trying to go, and he didn't buy it. What happened in that moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's hockey. You're weighing a lot of different options in situations like that. Is it the right time? Do I really want to sit in the box for 7 or 8 minutes with him? And I just felt like there's a certain point where he hits enough of your teammates that are kind of borderline hits that it doesn't matter whether it's a playoffs or whether it's a big game or a game that doesn't mean anything. It's still hockey. You can stand up for your teammates. So I felt like in that moment I wanted to do that, and he didn't want to do it. He obviously didn't want the momentum in the game to change. They were winning at the time, I think, and I don't know. Maybe that'll be his one chance, but we'll see.